much focus on VBS because we all need creative ways to do our kids' ministry space because we all have different challenges. We might have small spaces, we might have large spaces we need to fill up. We may have new spaces. You may have just gone into some new spaces, but we also want to do it without breaking the bank. We want this to be something that is honors God through even that, because we need to have some stewardship. And stewardship is utilizing and managing the resources that God provides for his glory and the betterment of his kingdom. You know, we just don't need to be wasting his resources. We want to make the best use of them, and so we want to be good stewards. And as we think about it, we think, well, yes, we want to be good stewards, but how is God going to provide? And I want you to think about the children of Israel as they have left Egypt, and God is trying to make them a nation, and he tells them to give of their resources to build a tabernacle. But he also tells them who is got all of the abilities to do it. And he brings all of those together for his glory. He had everything was needed. They even had to tell the people to stop giving towards the tabernacle because they had all those resources. So our key is to find these resources and to use them to the fullest. And so that's what we're going to look at. And we're going to look at upcycling. You know, it's the trend, isn't it? To upcycle, to reuse discarded objects or material in such a way as to create a product of higher quality or value than the original. And these are just some shots of some different things that could be upcycled. I have to tell you that the two end tables, that's the same table, one that has been upcycled to be a Lego station. And I don't know how many of you would want a Lego station in your resource area, but it's definitely a unique idea. So what can we upcycle to use in our facilities? You know, some of us that are doing new things, we may not want that, but there's all kinds of resources out there. What about old metal lockers? Sometimes you can find these when a school's being closed or they're remodeling and they're getting new ones. And you can use these as dividers. You can do different things with them. Maybe you want a sports theme in your room. So a few coats of paint and those metal lockers can turn into something really useful as well as storage. And storage is something we all need, isn't it? But what about, you may need to separate some space out, divide some things. Where can we find these? I have to be honest, I'm in Chelsea, Vermont. There's not too many office buildings that are reworking their stuff and trying to get rid of some old cubicles. But you may be in an area that is, that they've got these dividers that, they're changing the way they do things, or they're just doing new ones that they may be willing to give you, or especially even as churches that they may want to donate for a write-off. So think about that. But also, hotels might have some portable dividers that they would be willing to give away because they're remodeling. So there's all kinds of different things. And you can, a lot of times you just need to repaint the hardware to match your decor, or maybe recover the panels. And so, you know, you just never know what you might find is one of those things as far as upcycling. Here is one of the most upcycled things on the planet. Milk crates. And they have so much use, from seating to storage. I tell you, all you have to do is get on Pinterest and you will find schematics for so many different milk crate projects. If you need seating, if you need even there's different storage ideas here that tying some together. I'm not sure I'd put legs on one, but they make great seating ideas for kids. So from a few of those ideas to what are we doing on our walls? I know some of you've got some men in your churches that are so handy with wood that they could do any of these things with picking up some discarded old fencing that somebody is trying to get rid of. Pallets are a huge thing sometimes used that can be used as they are. My daughter had one and she used it as a shelf on her wall. And it served two purposes. You can hang it on your wall for decoration and as well as the shelves. But it gives a rustic design. And, you know, you never know if you're in an area that's doing a lot of construction, that you might find some extra building materials that are just out for the taking, or, you know, you have to ask. But, you know, God just put so many things sometimes in our lives that we never even expected that could then be turned into some great, fun places in our children's ministry. You know, but some of us don't have those people to do all this wooden stuff or major construction in our areas. And so fabric, plastic tablecloths, these kinds of things are easy, and we can handle that. I know I can. Tulle makes a great reading area if you need something like that. But you can do bulletin boards. I'll tell you, one of the best things I found for a bulletin board is the fabric lined, the like felt lined table coverings. Is great for a bulletin board because it holds up better than the cheap plastic ones, and you can still poke holes in it. And so you can find those in patterns, or you can find lots of solid ones, and they make great. They could even do wall coverings depending on what your area is. You know, color is a wonderful thing in children's ministry. I personally am not sure that I would want to do so many different colors, because I think that and different patterns, it might be distracting, like Alice was saying, for VBS. But if you have just basic colors, then no matter uh, what you go in to decorate for, you don't have to change those backgrounds. You can just leave your basic colors and work around them. And that makes it a whole lot more flexible for us. All right, so we've done just miscellaneous kinds of or walls. We've done wall coverings. What about seating? Have you ever, some of us, wouldn't want this, but in some preschool areas to do floor pillows. So this is going to take a little bit of work. You can find sofa cushions or from discarded couches at thrift stores. The problem is you need to have them steamed or chemically cleaned and possibly then recovered with a fabric that is more suitable for like outdoors, so that they wipe off and can be sanitized easily between uses. And who of us has not sat on a carpet square? And a lot of carpet stores give those out of their discontinued ones. And so they make a great seating option, especially for little ones. But the big kids like to sit on the floor too. So that may be something. But you may have, if you're thinking about chairs or storage, what kind of space saving options do we have? Now, these aren't necessarily upcycled in the same fashion of remaking something that was discarded, but you might look into something, especially for, I'd say, younger elementary and preschool. These scoop rockers are a great way to do a group time, to have them in a spot. It gives them a way to move, and they can be stored so easily, because you can store these in 6 to 8 of them in the space of one chair. So they would be a great options. That picture shows them actually even hung on the wall. I can tell you from personal experience, the kindergarten I substitute teach in uses these, and they are a great thing. But sometimes we need some adult seating things in our children's area. And I had never even thought about using camp chairs or a camp rocker in a nursery area, especially for some people that do, mobile church. And if you have to have a nursery and need rockers, this would be great. And these take up, you can put about 6 or 7 of these all in the space of one chair. So they're not quite the same way you do upscaling, but there's a lot of options for low-cost seating, and that they're only limited by your imagination and willingness to see things for what they can be than what they are. That is the art of upcycling, seeing the potential beyond the current reality. So, what I've thrown at you in this time, I feel like I'm rushing, but what I'm throwing at you are ideas to get you thinking. If you have upcycled something and would love to share that idea with us, please put it in the chat. Or if something comes to mind, write it there so that we can share ideas. We all can learn from each other, and I can learn from you. And so I would love for you to do that and share with us some ideas. All right. And while you're doing that, oh, I guess I thought I had that there. That's the way my life goes. We need to consider safety. Now, here's another upcycling idea. It's the 5-gallon buckets, making them into seating. They have lots of uses, 5-gallon buckets do. But we have to be careful with what was in any containers we use. If it was food grade, then we're good. But if it was not, we need to stay away from it, especially if it had some kind of chemicals, even paint. Another thing we need to look for are sharp edges or corners on anything that we are upcycling and trying to use. But also, will it clean well? So this is an idea of an upcycled coffee table that could possibly be used in lots of different areas. You can see it was wooden on the top, which all the sanitizer items that we're having to use chemically these days just eats at wooden furniture. So this, using a very good paint, it was painted, and these are vinyl tiles that make a cleanable, easily disinfected surface. And vinyl flooring is real cheap. It's about $1 a foot, so it wouldn't cost too much to do something like this upcycle table. Safe and easy to clean. All right. When we're thinking about upcycling, people want to clean out their attics and donate to us. And we need to be careful as to what we take and accept as donations. And I recommend that you make some kind of list of things that you don't take. And I'm going to give you a list that is not comprehensive, but it's a pretty good list of things to not take because of how they are. Of course, soft plush toys just take all kinds of grime, and we don't need to be spending all our time washing them. Used cribs, that is an insurance issue because all of our church insurance will not cover things, cribs that aren't purchased for specifically for nursery use. Don't take bedding. It's better to get new stuff. So the broken furniture, and I'm talking something that's really broken. There may be something that just needs fixing. It's not necessarily broken that you could repurpose, reuse, but something that's broken, stay away from it. Of course, we don't need toys with missing pieces. I'll say maybe one exception would be puzzles. A lot of times we, have these activities where we have put together puzzles and we want it to have a missing piece, but they make great craft items for things. So you might have a craft area that you store those kinds of things in, but we don't want toys that take rechargeable batteries or batteries that take 2 or 3 tools to change out. I mean, toys that take that many tools to change out the batteries. We don't want them to be inaccessible. If it can't be sterilized or cleaned, we don't need it. We just don't need it. One thing, putting this in writing, that if somebody says, I'd like to donate some safes, it will say, here's our list of things we don't take, because we need to be safe. And, but you can also say, we're trying to clean out and make our children's area the best it can be. And so we're also trying to clean out. So we can't really use your things that you don't need. It's okay to say no to something like that. Now the trivia. It helps if I double check my stuff, doesn't it? I'm not sure what Sandy's going to give you, but I'm going to ask you this question. When was the term upcycling first used? It has not been around forever, When did somebody come up with that? Put your answer, and we won't give it, we'll give it to whoever's closest, because when you're talking a date, and this will be a year.
Yep, I'm watching.
It'll be a year. So guess when you think was the first time that the term upcycling was used?
I got a 1998, 1920s, 2017, 1988, 1994.
Oh.
Hold on a second. Yeah, 1994.
Somebody hit it right on the nose. It was first used by this guy named Renner Pills. He was discussing recycling, but he used the term upcycling. It was the first time it was in print anywhere. So anyway.
All right. Jolene got it then.
All right.
Very good.
All right.
And I'll send you something, Jolene, I'll send you a surprise.
Sandy sends good surprises. I want you to know that.
I'll send you some good surprises.
Good surprises.
Awesome.
Okay.
Just I see some ideas in the chat, Jan. Can I share
awesome.
those?
Let's talk. Let's share them. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, inflatable crayons and guitar, huh? I'll see what I got there, Jolene. Jolene, these are her ideas. She said, I'm hoping to use baby formula cans as makeshift paint cans. And might put supplies in them at each table. So that's a great idea.
It is.
Good idea. Good idea.
I've used vegetable cans.
Yeah, that's really good. She said she's also thinking of using my colorful foldable play yard in the room somewhere, might barricade off the Sunday school supply area, and I might tie helium balloons from it if space allows. Very good.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, there's some good ideas.
There are. Catch my breath and let's talk about making the most of what you have. Okay, we all are in different situations, and we all need to sometimes rethink our space and to see if we're making the most of it. And so we're going to talk about that. Let's think about doing a case study of your ministry. Okay. And I would say the best time to do this would be maybe even a Sunday morning that families are coming in, so you can experience with it with the people there, that so you can evaluate all things as far as your space. And so you have a family, pretend your family has a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old. What does your ministry space look like when they get there? Walk through from entering. Do they know where to go? Where do they sign in? If you have a sign in for your kids ministry, is that well marked? Are there people to take them to the areas they need to go? When they get there, are people there ready? And is your space ready for them? Is it clean and uncluttered? Think about all those different kinds of things that would apply to your space. Think about the path that they would be on. And because these families, especially new ones that come into your kids ministry, want to know that their kids are going to be safe and well taken care of. And so we need to think about that. Is there good signage? Is there visual appeal that draws the kids in without being overstimulated? We talked about that in how we decorate. We don't want to overstimulate them because when they get overstimulated, then you can't get them to a place that they are ready to learn. So as we do this, then you need to start, and you should do this taking notes as you go through. And then you sit down and review those notes. And you look at those, what issues do you need to address, and what great low-cost solutions can meet the challenges to your space. Signage is a big deal. It can be solved with with some simple things. If you got a Cricut, or however you say that, vinyl cutter, it can make some wonderful signages. If you've got something flat for it to go on, you can make some great signages for that. If you've got somebody that can sew, you can make these hanging banners like you see. You don't have to buy these outside banners. You can make them. If you have somebody that can sew a little pocket to go for a stand to go in, and you take some old tent poles, and a 5-gallon bucket filled with sand, you can do something like that. Or you may even can engineer it with a old tent stake that would drive it into the ground. Another thought is there's a lot of these plant hangers, the way they're made to go into the ground. It has more than one place that pokes in. I've got several here at my house, and they hold up well for that. When you're thinking about your signage, you need to think about the font, that it's easy to read, and that it's very prominent, but it's also very plain as to where they should go as you do this. One other idea is to make your own canvas signages. You've got some wood around, and and somebody that can do that, you can buy a canvas drop cloth at the hardware store and mount it, and then put a primer on it, and make some really nice looking signs, painting it yourself, and get you some good stencils for letters to do that. But signage is something you should not skimp on. And we want to make sure that we do that. All right. All right. Multiple centers. If you do church on the go, or you have to, the way your church is set up, you have to set up in the multipurpose room every week. You need things to enable you to do that. And so you need possibly those kind of room dividers we talked about before, or you can purchase these that make walls without too great of an expense. And then what are they going to sit on? You know, because carting in that kind of stuff and moving it constantly, it takes a lot of people, and some of us don't have a lot of people. And so rugs, large area rugs that can be rolled out and easily stored, or even small ones that can designate group seating, will help greatly with centers as you think about that. Declutter and organize. What does this have to do with space? If our space is not organized and it's a mess, it's not good. That's what we talked about. One of the things in our walkthrough, we need to declutter and organize because an unorganized, cluttered up room doesn't make for a good ministry. So we have lots of organizational tips for your kids' ministry. A good label maker will make a whole lot better for your storage containers. It'll make more enduring ones that will stay well, better than address labels or masking tape like I do. So if you have the resources, invest in a good quality label maker. So when I was first looking at this webinar to do, this thought of having open storage for things that you use all the time, your pencils, your markers, those things, and then those things you need to keep secure, put behind closed storage. This one really goes without saying, keep your cleaning products out of reach of the children. Something that's very handy if you've got bins is clear ones. You know, yes, we want signage on them, but clear ones help in that. Oh, this is the one that's hard. Purge your supplies often. Get rid of stuff that, has lost its use. Some things, sometimes we don't know it, something gets spilled on them, or I don't know about y'all, but even our churches, every church I've been in, you have mouse problems or things like that. So you need to clean them out, donate your old literature, and there's soup kitchens and things like that would be thrilled to have that. And we're almost done. Host a free garage sale. Give it away. If you've got multiple VBS backdrops in your storage that you're never going to use again, but they have such meaning, take pictures of them, put them in a photo album, and save them that way. Invest in closet organizers, crates, tubs, all those different things. Inventory your supplies, but take a picture of what they should look like in your storage so that you know, oh, that's missing. Do you think you can get a volunteer to help maintain your supplies? This would be a great thing. But training all your volunteers in your supply system is going to make life much simpler. And I speak as one who struggles to not do it all myself. So that speaks to me. And this is what you need to know. An organization, and the system is only as good as it is easy to use. If it's complicated, it's not going to work. All right. The kids are what we're there for. But we want our space to be exactly what they need. Couple of last tips that have a strategy for you. Go shopping. Start early because last minute things are costly. Utilize the creativity of your congregation. Source from unexpected places and use what you have. And if you want to get in touch with me, there's my contact information.